2018 proposed, showing the dollar change from the prior year and then the projections for the remaining years. So I've tried to simplify it with just a couple of numbers in hopes that that gives you a bit of a snapshot of what you can expect, and then as we go through them on budget day, and hopefully it will become clear. But the dashboard is your obviously it's a go-to. It wraps up. It's that executive summary. But then the other document that you will find interesting is in the notes, and that's where we'll put in our description. So in the case of the carpeting, I would go down into this build section, and I would be putting $20,000 carpet replacement, main court room, $10,000 from reserves. And that would be written in here as a comment. So I hope that is somewhat helpful. I said it's really a snapshot look at it, but as you go through a day and a half of receiving these, and certainly when you do receive them, if you have questions, and you can feel free to email me or give me a call, and we can do a little review over the telephone. It certainly will be difficult on the iPad, I would expect, but as I said, we will make laptops available here on committee date if that would be helpful.
Thank you, Betty Ann. Any questions at this point? So it's just a matter of sitting down on the Surface Pros and playing around. And
so that was the capital side of it, and this one here will look this one here will look familiar to you. This was the dashboard that we've introduced the last 2 years, and the template. And again, this here is the corporate services. So this is the document that was developed for us as our starting point. Again, the dashboard. For you as members of council, green is good. As we've said before, that green means less than 3%, 3 to 5%, and above 5%. And you'll recall last year we also introduced another section that showed the budget increase dollars, because we all know that I guess I'm ramping you up for what you're going to see in a couple of weeks, but sometimes a percentage increase can be very large, but it can be small dollars depending on the amount of budget that you're starting. So I would remind you to look at both. It's important to look at the dollar variance, and as you can see here, this budget would suggest that what was approved in 2017 is exact same values in 2018. So the variance, there's no dollar variance and no percent increase, but I don't want to burst any bubbles, but that's not what you're going to see when you do receive the budget. So again, this is the input section, and if we look at Park Street again, and we look at how I adjust the budget, I'm looking at for example, maintenance, buildings and grounds was $6,000, and actually let's take a look at snow removal contract was $10,000. Let's assume that we went out to tender and we've had success. So we've actually, the snow removal contract is going to only be $8,000 for next year. So I would show a minus $2,000 in maintained services. And the budget then itself would be $8,000, and I would have a changeover budget in $2,000. And then if you look at the facilities management, you will see that at the end of the day, the budget is going to reduce $2,000. All other expenditures would stay the same. For you saying, well, why is it, you're looking at it, why is it going down $2,000? You can go up into the expenditures, and you can see it's a maintained services, and it's under facilities costs. If you're still saying, I'm still not certain what that is, you would go into the notes for facilities, and you would see that there's $2,000, and then that's our job as staff that I would put reduction in snow removal contract. And then, so it's designed so that all of the changes are going to populate into this other. So what we're looking for as staff is that other is typically anything very small amounts. Otherwise, it's explained in here. If it's salaries and benefits, it just will be described as salaries and benefits. 5% increase insurance premiums expected. And again, you will find that in the individual pressure categories, and then the total budget change. So this is really not changed from last year. And then again, you can go into the department summary, and in corporate services, there we have the 4 divisions. We also include health services. Health services, just to remind you, is for the most part, it's the increases to grants to the regional health center, the hospital, the hospice last year. So that's where we include the health services. So it's separated out but included in corporate services. So if you're looking at where we'll start as when directors are reporting, we'll be going to the analysis for the total department, and you'll see in this case again, that $2,000, and doing it for illustration purposes so that it shows up for you, is that you can see that the only change in the department's budget this year is in the facilities division, and it's a reduction of $2,000. And overall, the entire budgets, and we also show the full-time equivalents. That gives you the head count, and then, of course, looking back at the dashboard, and you see how that is populated for the reduction of $2,000 and the percentage change. And this is showing red because there's reserves that haven't been accounted for. And that, again, is a snapshot for you as well. If you have that interest, typically it will be described in the notes. But if you want to know what is it that's, what are the reserves to and from reserves for that particular department, you will see that populated in that worksheet. And we also included the definitions as the first worksheet. So if you're going through them and you're trying to remind yourself what are the definitions for the program budget, you'll be able to easily access that as a reminder. Hopefully that has been some help and to prepare you.
Thank you, Betty Ann. Any questions or comments on Betty Ann's snapshot of budgeting? Hearing none, I guess everybody... Oh, sorry, Mike. Yeah.
Well, hopefully they're more related to the numbers as opposed to the format, but we will work through all of them.
Sorry.
So Betty Ann made a comment earlier. I just want to be clear. When you were talking about the live streaming, Betty Ann, like I haven't looked at a live stream in a long time, but I guess you'd say when you're looking at the live stream, if someone's at the podium, you see a little bit of this area here, and you see the screen on the live streaming, and like there was no open hell anyone at home to be able to read what was on the screen. But you made a comment earlier today. Did that mean instead of the live streaming, taking in the councillors sitting here and who's ever at the podium, were you suggesting that it's actually going to show you that screen? I'm not sure what you meant.
I'm trying to bring the live stream up. I thought I could, but it's not. I'm just trying to get into, maybe I can do it here. see if you're at home watching it is you will half the screen includes this section, what it used to only be, and then you will, on the other half is what is up on the screen, so that our those watching at home are able to see the screen clear and follow the agenda.
Well, I think if there's anyone actually watching at home, that would be helpful, because so far, the live streaming is a bit of a joke. If you're not in on the narrative, you're not.
Yes, I think this is a great improvement, and hopefully well received by those watching at home.
Darlene has it there.
Oh, there she's got it.
Oh, that'd be a huge improvement.
Thanks, Darlene.